Let's break down all the mythology in the trailer for the new God of War, Laufey, so let's go.
Find your way home. You are free.
Well, first of all, you already start right at the beginning of God of War 2018, right? With Quintus and Atreus doing Faye's funeral. I've already talked about this in my mythological analysis video of this same God of War. But one thing I forgot to mention is that, interestingly, Laufey would be a Jotun, right? So naturally, she wouldn't go to Valhalla when she died. However, it's kind of hard to know exactly where a Jotun could end up in, the afterlife. But being enemies of the gods, they would probably either go to Helheim or even to a more specific place in Helheim, which is the Hall of Nastrond. The hall was meant for those who were murderers and did very terrible things during their lives. This hall would be made entirely of scales and serpents, and even venom would drip from serpents on the ceiling. It's easy to see why Jotun, the Norse god's enemy, would end up in this hall. Well, but the ugly one, yes, she is cremated. She starts traveling through, space and ends up in a place that brings together various mythologies. We don't know exactly what this place is yet. Stay calm.
Kratos! Where am I?
The ugly one wakes up and ends up showing her foot. By the way, she has a big foot. It's huge. Then a really cute, tiny little creature appears to her. It looks like a lizard, a dragon. It has a beaver or squirrel tail. You can't really tell what it is, because as we know very little about the game, the trailer just came out, and it's a mix of several mythologies. It could be a lot of things. It could even be a creature created just for the game. But trying to guess what this little creature could be, it reminded me of two things. Mainly because we end up finding a lot of monotone mythology, Congolese, Asian, and Buddhist as well. So I think it could be two beings. The Fu dog, which is kind of like a dog. It was a guardian of Buddhist temples and was also used as sacrifices. And also Pixie, or Bixio. But honestly, that one is a bit harder because this creature I just mentioned would be kind of like a smaller dragon, right? But if you try a little, we can imagine that it is. Especially because the Pixie, in this case, attracts a lot of wealth. And that little creature in the trailer there ends up leading Faye to the armor, even to the mask, and even to the sword. And the Pixie usually appears with two horns. That creature there doesn't have very clear horns, but if you look closely at it, you can see there's a little thing here above his eyes. That looks like two horns. And also, the Pixie is a bit of a trickster, a bit mischievous. He even ended up pooping in the Jade Emperor's hall. The Jade Emperor punished him by throwing him to earth and making it so he could only eat gold.
Mask.
And after that, Faye ends up finding a mask there. That really looks like the mask from God of War Ragnarok, the one Odin was trying to put together to see what was there, besides a shining crack there. Thing is, right, it's the afterlife of the gods. In other words, this place is probably where the gods that Kratos killed are, back in Greek God of War, right? And in all the other God of War games, actually. Even from the Norse ones. Thor could show up, Odin himself, Ares, Athena, and even Zeus, I think, just guessing here, since Sekhmet is kind of like the boss in this trailer, the name of this afterlife of the gods could be Duat. This shares its name with the afterlife in Egyptian mythology. If you want a cute pet like this, remember to like, subscribe, and consider becoming a member here. It's less than 5 reais. And you help me a lot, and you get videos like the ones showing up on the screen. Plus, you also get access to exclusive videos. And you also get early access to new videos that will be released here on the channel. And another way you can help me is by buying the products that are showing up on the screen, like this PlayStation 5, for example, for those of you who want to play Forza Gore for Laufey right now, and take advantage of the promotion, okay? I don't know how long it's going to last, but check it out. Also, take a look at the pinned comment. Right after that, Faye ends up grabbing a sword and facing monsters that look like plants, which could be a lot of things too. They could be dryads, which are nymphs from Greek mythology, but actually, nymphs are more human-like, let's say. But it could be an adaptation by the game. They could be it. Right after that, Faye ends up grabbing a sword and facing monsters that look like plants, which could be a lot of things too. You can see they would be nymphs that are specifically connected, for example, to vineyards. They could be leshies adapted but human. I don't think so, right? Because leshies would be much bigger and would be. If they were more specific or even more similar to them, you can see here that the adaptation, the trailer, is more. But in Asian and also Buddhist mythology, me, old friend. Creatures on the head, to do with arbor, the legend of Nemanju, more. They would be trees whose fruits look like human heads. There's also the legend of Makali palm, which would be a tree that the character, as I said, would give flowers there, those young women. And they are very similar to women. They have the same internal organs as women, except they don't have bones. If you don't pick them, they end up withering and falling. Or it could simply be and very similar, the famous corpse, right? Which is internal chemicals that are not strong there. It is diversa, force, etc. Including that flower there. The head of the creature in the game is very similar to that mask.
No, it can't be it. It's not possible. If there's another mask, the path isn't safe.
I have to find a way back.
Probably in reference to the Golden Horde, but I can't see it. And it will be captured. And for Russia, they dominated everything. The camps were us. Shiny, right? That's why they were called Golden Hordes. Or also, you can also use it or golden cords, or also the golden lineage of Genghis Khan himself. And we see a lot of things there. Some things I was able to identify, others not. Interestingly, they showed a creature there with a tentacle coming out of the place where it was trapped. Could it be him? Is it him? Are we getting some Lovecraft in Warforged? I'd sign up for that. I'd love it if we did.
Right back.
Like,
That creature.
You could also see some soldiers there capturing an animal that looks like a combination of a fox and a horse. It has wings or horns or fins on the side of its body. I couldn't see clearly, but maybe it's, I don't know, bays or hakutaku. It might be a mountain creature from Asian myths, but I doubt it's bays. Bays doesn't have a human face, speaks human language, and has 3 eyes on the sides of its body. So, I don't think it's him. It could also be Tiamina, which is kind of what they used from Chinese mythology. If it's a horse, it would be a horse that also has dragon scales. That explains the small wings on this God of Warforged creature. Also, Tiamat, or Tiamina, is said to have the ability to suck blood. It makes sense for them to tie this little creature's mouth like in the game. Or maybe it's some other Asian chimeric creature, because as you get closer to this creature, you start noticing features from other animals. Right? It has a cow or horse hoof, a fox face, a fin. It has scales. There's a lot going on there. If you know of any creature that could be this one, let us know in the comments. And after that, we end up meeting a local deity there. It's this red creature that looks like a demon, a dragon, breathes fire and all that. That throws some punches at Faye's face. At first I thought this creature would be Erlikon. He would be the god of the Mongol underworld. But then Sekhmet shows up, who is also a goddess. She ends up saying his name in this scene here. Betse.
Handle Sekhmet, no.
Betse.
I will handle that problem. You.
And Betse would be an ancient Mongolian deity who would be the Lord of War, their god of war. But later, as time went by, and with the arrival of Buddhism, this being moved to another religion and ended up being known as Dharmapala, meaning guardian of the Dharma, a Buddhist protector. And he appears just like that, as you can see, okay? He has a very red face. He really looks like a demon. So he also has some little skulls on top, as you can see there. But usually he appeared holding weapons, right? But in Betse's case, Betse doesn't appear holding weapons.
God.
After that, there's the arrival of Sekhmet, who is the lioness goddess of ancient Egypt. And interestingly, she doesn't appear in the form of a lioness here. Although if you look closely when she arrives, you can notice that she kind of has a mane here. But her face, her skin, and even her pose in her statue. When Faye passes by the little cave as she goes through the passage, you'll see that she also looks a lot like Osiris. And she's even in the same pose as Osiris. It's easy. Famous, right? She's standing there holding the thing like this. Sekhmet is also a war goddess from ancient Egypt, and she was created by Ra himself. Actually, she would be Ra's right eye. She obeys him a lot. But when Ra ended up creating her, he asked her to destroy all humans because he was very angry with humanity. When she actually started destroying all of humanity, Ra kind of regretted it and helped the humans stop her. And when they managed to restrain her, Hathor transformed her into another goddess, who is the goddess Hathor, the goddess of fertility.
Sekhmet.
Don't hit yourself. I will handle that problem. You deal with our new pet.
Curiously, as soon as Sekhmet notices the flash appearing there, she ends up leaving on top of a giant cat. I don't know exactly what it is. Maybe a sphinx. I don't know. Maybe the name of this cat is Bastet. Some say it could also be an aspect of Sekhmet herself. But anyway, I found it very curious that Sekhmet was worried about this flash, right? About someone arriving in the kingdom. And if this kingdom really is the Duat, like I told you throughout the whole night, the one who passes through the Duat would be Hathor himself, who is the supreme god of ancient Egypt. Could that flash mean Hathor has arrived? I'm not sure.
Okay. I think they're gone.
Just be careful. Just fresh air. Oh, you're different.
You're a cube. Talking.
You know what? It doesn't matter.
How are we gonna get out of here?
Yes, let's go. Now we've tried. There's no way out.
Well, after that, Faye is put in some kind of prison there, and we end up meeting Rui and Frank. In this case, it's the Cosmic Cube. And a ribbon that's on top of a sword that's inside this Cosmic Cube. I don't remember any sword that's inside a cube, right? But if we stop to think about swords that are stuck somewhere, there are several. There's the most famous one, right? Which would be the first Excalibur, which was placed on top of a rock or an anvil by Merlin himself so that Arthur could take it. There's also the Sword of Galahad himself. In this case, the first one, which floats on top of a stone. And only Galahad can take it. And the second Sword of Galahad, which would be thirsty for blood, stays inside a scabbard and can only be drawn by Galahad as well. And there's the Gram. So Odin stuck a sword in a tree trunk for Sigurd to take later, right? In this case, it would be his father. It might sound confusing, but you get it. Anyway, Faye ends up accepting that she died there, that she's in the underworld of the gods, right? In the world of the dead of the gods, or in the afterlife of the gods. She would leave this prison, everything explodes, and she starts facing a big demon, a huge demon, in an extremely awesome fight. And honestly, I really liked it. I really want to play this game.
I will kill you. I will kill you. Don't make promises you can't keep, Gotham.
Let me know what you think of the new God of War. Will you play it? I'm excited, are you? Which gods do you think will appear? Share your thoughts in the comments, like, subscribe, and share for more videos. See you next time.
And honestly, I really liked it.